Welcome to Summer Salads at Home at Southside United Methodist Church. I'm Leslie DeVote, the Director of Women's Ministries. We are so happy that you have joined us. I know that during this time things have been a little weird and you might not even be able to gather with someone today, but we are still able to share some really sweet and inspirational and encouraging messages about being bold. Our theme verse this year at Summer Salads is Psalm 138:3. God made me bold and strengthened my soul. And that's what we want to do right now. We want to strengthen our souls with a short message from Dixie Andrade. Dixie is one of my good friends and is a member at Southside UMC. She's famous for her contagious smile, down-to-earth style, and communication skills. She's a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Network Realty in Jacksonville, Florida, and an inspirational speaker and trainer focusing on helping busy women manage their priorities, enjoy their family, and do what they love most, all through faith. After earning her master's degree in international communications at American University in Washington, D.C., where God also introduced Dixie to her Ecuadorian husband, Eduardo, she began her career in international development with the World Bank and spent over 15 years working with multinational nonprofits and governments in 162 countries, speaking and training on topics ranging from leadership and management, sales, customer service, time management, and entrepreneurism. Upon becoming a mother of special need twin boys, Dixie knew God was calling her to shift her focus from international business travel to understanding the juggling act that is motherhood and entrepreneurism. She loves helping families find the right home with her real estate work and in her speaking career. She wants all women to know that whatever they are doing, in whatever season they are in, they can and do make a difference. Dixie's favorite verse is shaped from Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. I hope you will listen and enjoy and just be inspired by Dixie's words. If you can't gather with someone, we will be offering 2 different times to come together and discuss this message on Zoom. The Zoom links are on the website. There will be one meeting on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock and one meeting on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. I hope to see you there and enjoy Dixie's message.
Hi, ladies. Today we're talking about being bold and being bold for the Lord. Did you know that only 13% of the world uses their God-given talents and gifts? 13%. Hold that thought for a minute and let's open in prayer and then we'll get back to it. Most gracious God, we are so blessed to be given life in all of its abundance. You have made us with wonderful gifts and talents. You have created us to capture all that life has to offer. Forgive us when we squander our lives and the days that we have here on earth because of unhealthy living, because of fear, anxiety, stress, overconsumption, and overcommitment. Help us, Lord, to take some time with you this week to go deep into our souls, to discover what you really want for our lives. Free us to follow the true longings of our heart, that we will be truly used by you, the Christ. Fulfill the purpose that you have for each of us. Empower us to capture the dreams of our childhood and reach for our deepest desires. Empower us to be bold for you. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. So, ladies, I'm going to be very honest with you. When Leslie asked me to come and speak to you all through the camera, I almost said no because I'm used to standing in front of a group, be able to see your faces, see you smile, see you frown, see you laugh. It's a little intimidating to be standing in front of a camera. But then after a lot of prayer, I could really hear God calling me, saying, this is what it means to be bold. This is what it means. This is the topic. This is what I am coming to you to speak to you today about. And he also helped me reframe it a little bit. Being bold to me sounds big and boisterous and loud, but that doesn't necessarily mean bold. Bold can be quiet, and bold can be basically using our talents. So that's why I used the 13% in the beginning. I looked it up. I did some research, and during our short time that we have today together, let's just think about being bold as using our gifts and our talents for the Lord. If we're not doing that on a daily basis, then maybe we aren't living boldly for the Lord. Hear these words from 1 Corinthians 12, 7 through 11. A spiritual gift is given to each of us so we can help each other. To one person, the Spirit gives the ability to give wise advice. To another, the same Spirit gives a message of special knowledge. The same Spirit gives faith to another, and to someone else, the one Spirit gives the gift of healing. He gives one person the power to perform miracles, and another the ability to prophesy. He gives someone else the ability to discern whether a message is from the Spirit of God or from another spirit. Still, another person is given the ability to speak in unknown languages, while another is given the ability to interpret what is being said. It is the one and only Spirit who distributes all these gifts. He alone decides which gift each person should have. Now I want you to ask yourselves, do you know your spiritual gifts and talents, and are you using them? You don't have to raise your hands in your group, but think about it. My spiritual gift is teaching and encouraging and coaching. And I received my master's degree in international communication, and for over 15 years, I used those talents around the world teaching adults in the corporate world and in nonprofits. And I loved every minute of it. So there were times along that journey that I said yes, yes, yes to many, many things. I said yes to boards, I said yes to nonprofits, I said yes to volunteer opportunities, and I didn't say no. There were times I should have said no, 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 instead of yes, yes, yes. Instead, I was doing good things. I was very, very busy, and I wasn't necessarily being bold by using my talents. I was just being busy. I read an excerpt from Christian writer Lewis Meads and started to realize that no is not a bad word. It's a good word when you know that you're just being busy to be busy. So hear these words. I brought a brand new date book yesterday, the kind I use every year, spiral bound, black leather, pages with blank boxes. Each square has a number to tell me which day of the month I'm in at the moment. Every square is a frame for one episode of my life. Before I'm through with the book, I will fill the squares with classes that I teach, people with whom I ate lunch, everlasting committee meetings, prayer time, and yet these are the things I cannot forget. I do not write down thousands of cups of coffee, sleeping, reading, family time, and I hope gestures of help to my neighbors. Whatever I do has to fit inside one of those squares on my date book. We live one square at a time. The 4 lines that make up the box are the walls that organize the time, and each box has an invisible door that leads to the next box. And each day that we play, we move ahead one square. And again, you fill that time square with your to-dos. And as we get older, the squares, they seem to get smaller, and one day there won't be any more squares. So when I started to read that and I dove into his work, I understood that no was okay. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to say yes to those things that really fulfill you. What I want you to do is reflect on your calendar. You can do it within your group or you can do it by yourself. Just reflect on your calendar, maybe some of the things that you haven't written on it, and think about those to-dos. Are some of them fulfilling your talents and your gifts that God gave you? Now, there are going to be things on our to-do that we don't want to do, but you have to do them. But the thing is, you really want to think, am I fulfilling my gifts? Am I living boldly each day? And when I say living boldly, I don't mean it has to be so someone else notices. If you're feeling fulfilled and say you've dropped off a meal at someone's house, or you're good at writing notes and you've written to some shut-ins, that's living boldly. Those are your gifts and you're using them. When I started to reflect on my life, yes, there were times when I was definitely living boldly and I was using my gifts, and then there were other times when I wasn't, and I could realize that I wasn't fulfilled. During those time periods, I wouldn't be fulfilled. And that would be because I wasn't using my gifts. If I tried a different job, or if I tried to go take a volunteer opportunity that I should have said no to, that I wasn't very good at, those were times when I knew that I was not living boldly. I was not fulfilling the gifts and talents that God had given me. Okay, so for me, I like to use metaphors in life. And I love to play tennis. Those of you who know me know that I really like to play tennis. And I like to think of metaphor of life as a game. So listen to this. No one gets picked for a team that wants to sit on a bench. And nobody devotes years of service to a company with the idea that what she has done is insignificant. Nobody wants to think at their funeral the eulogy is going to say that their life didn't matter. We all want to make a difference, and not just for ourselves. And nobody hopes at their memorial that someone will stand up and say, she worked hard to be successful. She did a good job acquiring power and money. She was anxious and driven and self-preoccupied and polite and respectable and impressed. A lot of people, nobody wants that. We want to leave the world a little better than when we came into the world. When it's time to go, we want people to say, my life was a little richer because she was in it. That's what we really want. And I promise you, if you are being bold, if you are using your gifts and talents, when our life is over, when those boxes are done, when the game is done, the people around you will say that about you. You made a difference because you used your God-given gifts and talents. You were bold for the Lord. I love the book of Esther in the Bible. And if you really study that book, Esther did not want to be bold. She didn't want to do what God was calling her to do. She was scared. She was afraid. Totally normal. But she did it anyway. And her boldness, look where that led her people. That's one of my favorite books. So when I'm thinking about the gifts and I'm thinking about talents, I'm never going to be an Esther. But I know that I am going to try to fulfill my gifts and talents by doing what God gave me the gifts to do. Teaching, encouraging, coaching. I wish you all were sitting with me and we could have a conversation. We could ask questions to each other and really dive into what your spiritual gifts are. But that's not possible this year. However, I encourage you to do that. If you know what they are, great. You can look at your calendar and really kind of figure out if you are each day or week or month doing something along those lines. If you're not feeling fulfilled in your life, maybe you can take a pause and say, what Dixie was saying was right. I'm really not using this gift. I need to do that a little bit, and you'll feel more fulfilled. For me, that's living boldly. Like I said, I necessarily didn't want to come and talk to you in front of a camera and not have your interaction, but that wouldn't have been being bold. So here I am in front of you today asking you to be bold. When the camera's off and I'm not in your circle with you, talk about it amongst yourselves. Maybe get a partner that encourages you along the way to live your gifts, live your talents. It doesn't matter what age you are. Every day you can be bold for the Lord if you're using your gifts and talents. It can be in big ways, small ways. It doesn't matter as long as we are fulfilling the desires that He has given us. So that's what my hope for you is. I know this was really short, but I hope you got something out of it. I hope you take something away from it that just shows you that you can be bold in any way you choose, and you will be fulfilled, and you will be living the life that the Lord put you on the earth for. That's my hope for you, ladies. Thanks for having me into your home. Perhaps next year we'll all be together.
Thank you for joining us and listening to Dixie's message. If for more information on Southside UMC, please go to our website at sumcjax.org. Now, as we part, may the Lord bless you and the Holy Spirit fill you with the boldness to learn, live, and love Jesus.